Hey there, and welcome to Work First Waves, podcast for recruitment and staffing founders who are ready to grow, scale, and shake up the industry. I'm your host, Kirutika Munusamy, and I'm so glad that you're here. This is where we have real, no-nonsense conversations about what it takes to build a thriving business in recruitment and staffing. Forget the fluff. We're all about the strategies that actually work, shared by the people who've been there and done it. A quick shout out to our sponsor, Ambrosial Automations. At Ambrosial Automations, we are kind of your behind-the-back growth partners. We help recruitment and staffing businesses streamline their operations, bring in quality leads, boost sales, and scale, all without the risky upfront costs. We work on revenue-shared model. We don't succeed unless you do. If you're curious about how it works, head over to ambrosialautomations.com for a free 12-month growth plan that is tailored just for you. All right, let's dive in. Today, we have a very special guest joining us, Steve, the founder and CEO of The Well Recruiting Solutions. With over 17 years of experience in the Fortune 100 financial service sector, he spent 5 years as financial advisor and 12 years in leadership roles, ultimately serving as a managing partner. Notably, he was the youngest managing partner in his company at the time. Steve, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So Steve, tell us more about yourself, your background, and the role within The Well Recruiting Solutions.
Yeah, so thank you so much for having me. I've always kind of been an entrepreneur. So I started my first company when I was 15 years old. Used that. It was an asphalt seal coating company and grew it. Paid my way through high school and college with that. I entered financial services my senior year of college when I was 20 years old, like you read. Spent 5 years as an advisor, which is very entrepreneurial. You're building your own practice. You're doing your own business development, operations. I had a small staff. And ultimately, what I wanted to do was move out of Alaska. I lived in Alaska for a long time, and I wanted to move out of Alaska, move down to the States. And back then, we didn't have Zoom. We didn't have all this like technology. And so if I was going to do that, I would have to basically give up my practice that I built for 5 years and go start over. And I did not want to go through that again. So I learned that with the company I was with, if I moved into a leadership position, it did well enough that they would move me somewhere and give me a firm to be the managing partner. So I did that. I started recruiting and developing and coaching and building a team of advisors. We had close to 40 people on that team after about 5 years. I was promoted to partner, senior partner. I was the youngest senior partner in the company. And then, as you mentioned, got to be a managing partner and run a firm. We had a lot of success doing that. We doubled the size of the firm in 2 years. They gave me another larger firm to run up in Minnesota. And I did that for a few more years. And what I realized was I was not an entrepreneur anymore. I was running someone else's business. And I had learned a lot of skills. I was very, very well paid for what I did. And I had a very attractive package for the rest of my career. But at the heart, I know that God made me to be an entrepreneur. And so I felt the calling to leave an incredibly comfortable career and start over as a startup entrepreneur. So after 17 years, I left. I did not know what I was going to do. I thought I was going to buy a company because I thought only crazy people build something from scratch. And it just takes so much time. And so let me buy someone else's company and then grow that from there. All those deals fell through. And then I was actually over in India working with a nonprofit over there when the idea to start a recruiting company really was born. And I shared it with some friends over there. And I remember I was sitting there, talking with people who had nothing. Like they didn't know where their meal was coming from the next day. And, your heart just goes out and you want to serve as much as you can. But in the midst of all of that, as I was talking about this recruiting company I was going to start, I was excited and I went on and they asked and I kept talking. And like 30 minutes later, I realized if I was that passionate about building a recruiting company on the other side of the world, that's probably what I should be starting. And so that's where it was birthed. And I was sharing with you earlier, we have team members in India. And so we've been able to build a company that helps and employs some of those very same people that I was working with or meeting with at that time. So it's not just a company to make a bunch of money, but it's also to serve and provide amazing opportunities for people all around the world. We've got a team of over 40 people now. Just a year later, we started January of last year. We've got a team of 40 all over the world. We've got clients all over the United States. And it's been an incredible rocket ship of a journey in these last 12, 13 months.
Oh, nice. While listening to it, I feel it's such a amazing transition from where you were and where you are now. So I guess it must have been an incredible journey, right?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So, what are the big trends that you're seeing in the industry right now?
You know, Kirutika, I have a little bit of a different look at this because we did not start out to move into the direct hire and staffing industry. We initially provided a very niche product to a very niche clientele, and we've evolved to now becoming more of a standard, direct hire, contingency based staffing company with some expertises that I think are unique because of my background and experience and the talent that we've been able to bring onto our team. So I don't know what's normal in the industry. I don't know how people have done it for a long time. I come from a business mind, an innovative mind, a technology mind. And so I couldn't speak to what used to be trends and, what aren't trends anymore. But I'll tell you some of the things that we're doing that I know a lot of companies, and I know like you do, right? So my philosophy in building our company is that everybody has a gift in life, maybe a couple gifts that they're really uniquely built for. I believe God gave them those specific gifts. And if they can work in that gifting for the majority of their day, like they're excited to go to work. They're excited to be a part of a team. And like, they don't look at Monday as a, ugh, they look at Monday as a yes. And so, philosophically, the way we've built the company has been creating very narrow tranches of scope of work that people do. And then finding really talented people that love doing exactly that and only that. I'll give you an example, right? So in the industry, and this is not innovative, by the way, but the standard in the industry is to run a full desk, right? Where you're doing business development and you're doing recruiting and everything else in between. We don't do that. We have a split desk model, which again is not innovative, but even with the split desk model, right? So we've got business development managers who are out there looking for clients. We have customer success managers, which take the handoff from business development and act as that liaison. And then we have recruiters who actually do all of the sourcing. But even underneath that, we have virtual assistants that help with each of those different capacities. We've got a social media and a marketing team that drive more traffic so that people can really dig in and do exactly what they love doing. And who benefits from that is the client. Like the client gets highly engaged, highly skilled people from our company that get things done with a better customer success attitude, with more excellence, quicker. And then we're not afraid to use technology. So sometimes things should be done by people, some things should be done by technology. And being a national recruiting and staffing firm, we benefit from scale, right? So like if I'm running my own small company, I probably can't invest in the technology just because I'm not hiring enough people. Yeah. But because we've got lots of clients all over the US, we can invest in more enterprise level technology to do and process the information that needs to be processed to get the best candidates to our clients. Like the way I say it, I'll ask my clients, what is the fewest number of people that you need to interview for this position to feel like you made a really, really good choice? Because then my job is to get you that many of the best, right? So let's just say, they don't want to see one person because there's still like human nature says, there might be someone else out there, but let's just say it's 3. And they're like, I need to see 3 people. So our job is to go through the thousands of people that qualify, look through the hundreds that, are the next level, interview a couple dozen, and then give the best 3. And there's technology that can do that. And then human interaction needs to be there at a certain point. And you get this, better than most just based on the company that you run. But that's the value that we add to our clients now, where it used to be they didn't even have access to find the people. You can find the people; they're everywhere. Now it's saving them the time and only requiring them to spend just a few hours to find the exact right person.
Yeah, that's true. Reducing the time to hire is something all the companies are looking for. That's right. So, asking in the same lines, which other sector do you guys, or which all sectors do you guys serve?
Yeah. So again, not coming from a traditional recruiting source, right? We came in to solve a solution for a niche industry in the financial services industry, but naturally then, we're working with the insurance and broker dealer companies. Well, then the independent RIAs and independent wealth management firms and the independent retirement planning firms and the asset managers, right? They came to us and they're like, hey, can you help me find, and they all want to find an advisor first. Like that's what they all want. And so we got good at finding them experienced advisors to help them for their firm. And then they ask, can you find us a marketing manager? Can you find us a director of human resources? Can you find us a Salesforce analyst? Can you find us a director of data? The ever popular client service representative, right? And so what we realize is like, well, yeah, our process we've built, we've got a call center that can make 3,000 outbound calls a day. The model, the engine that we built can really work in any sector. So then I brought in recruiting talent that has experience in things like healthcare, construction. And so while initially our focus was around financial services, it has really expanded to be able to take on basically anything that someone needs.
That's nice. So you have your options open. So whoever, like you said, it is not much of a traditional recruiting, but it's about whoever you guys can help.
100%. Yep.
So are there any big challenges you are seeing with the well recruiting solutions right now?
Our big focus right now is business development and bringing on new clients. That's going to change next month. And then we're going to have a bunch of new clients and then we're going to need recruiters. And then we've got enough recruiters. So we're going to need more business development. So, as a small business owner speaking to, business owners, right? That's that ever balance, right? If you're running a full desk, right? Well, they find and fulfill their own roles. We're having that balance running the split desk. So that would be, I would say, our biggest challenge right now. But all that is doing what we do best, and that's getting the right people on our team. So, we've hired two new business development people this week that come with experience from the industry. And so it's just taking that and running with it. And then, as being the business owner, it's like, how much of my money do I reinvest in the company versus take out for profit? And, the answer for me up to this point is all of it goes back in the business. Because we didn't start this company. I didn't start this company to have a $1 million company, to have a $10 million company, to have a $100 million company. Our goal is to be $1 billion company. And that takes reinvesting in bringing the right people in.
Yeah. Well, that's a great way to put it. I guess the founders who are in our audience will really enjoy that perspective of yours. So are there any big initiatives the Well Recruiting Solutions is working on?
Yeah, absolutely. So the vision that my partner and I have, so my partner's our chief operating officer. He's a genius, background in aerospace engineering, turned fintech startup COO. He is, the way his mind works is just glorious. We're both very, very technology forward in our thinking. I'm kind of the big picture. He gets the big picture and then breaks it down and how it needs to be done. So what we're trying to figure out, do we need to develop our own technology? Is there a base technology we can do for this? But our vision is we want to basically, when we onboard a client, in the onboarding interview, we would like artificial intelligence model that basically is able to define the culture and the ideal fit, not just from here's what you have on your resume, but really what the DNA of our client is. can pick up the nuances in the way that they explain what position that they're looking for that, typically is not articulated on a job description, and create a model that we can then, almost like a puzzle piece that we can then run all of our candidates through on the other side that will connect the two in a way that it would take a lot of interviews face to face to be able to do that, far beyond the typical, behavioral modeling and personality profiles, because, we don't get paid for this, right? In fact, we get paid for the opposite of it. But if that candidate is going to stay with that client for a year longer, well, that saves them a lot of money. And we think if we're able to provide that value to our client, obviously we actually get paid less because we don't get to fill that role again. But we believe it provides great value in the marketplace, and it's a good long-term play for us. So that's a piece of technology that we're analyzing vendors for, and then trying to figure out, how much of that do we develop ourselves right now.
Okay. So what opportunities lie ahead for your company in 2025?
It's a big growth year for us. Last year was all about testing our models, finding what does our ideal client profile look like. We have identified a couple niches in that this year, and so now this year is all about business development. So maximizing our revenue. Got big goals for this year, as really a proof of concept for what we worked on building all year last year. So our target client has expanded. So we're opening, again, as I mentioned earlier, to working in different verticals, but not in a haphazard way. Like we'll take anything that comes in. It will be driven by the expertise that we acquire in our firm. So as we're bringing on new recruiters or new business development managers, we will lean into the experience and expertise that they have to build in-house expertise in all the different verticals that we can move into.
Okay. So apart from that, what other priorities or goals do you have for this year?
Yeah. So one of the things that we do as a company, and it really was the reason that we were founded, was to be a generous company, financially generous. And so we have some partnerships that we're looking to expand, but we've got a pretty, I would say, generous portion of gross revenue that we have allocated both currently and ongoing to partnering with nonprofit organizations, particularly on the other side of the world from us, to help people do incredible work that they don't have access to the financial capital that we do in the United States. We're just so blessed to be here, and we love partnering with those organizations. And so, currently we're paying for room, board, tuition, college for a group of students in India right now, and our goal is to continue to be able to grow that amount and provide tuitions and scholarship covering for that. And then we're in talks with some other nonprofit leaders to expand and do some microfinance loans, helping businesses start up in other countries that just aren't as fortunate as we are in the United States. And so that's a really big portion of why we do what we do.
Okay, so it's not just about recruiting, but in any possible way, if you are able to help people, you just focus on that apart from recruiting. Oh, that's a great mission. So what is the Well Recruiting Solutions vision for next couple of years?
Yeah, so our 2030 vision is to be the trusted source for 100,000 placements by 2030. So, what's the pro rata number on that? Our goal this year is a couple hundred placements. That's got to ramp up about 500% a year over the next few years to hit that.
Yeah.
But I think we can be in the next 3 years, $100 million company. And so, for me, the real initiative is to find the talent that's going to get us there and bring them in. I think we offer an incredible place to work. A lot of our whole team is remote. So a lot of our team just happens to be incredibly talented female professionals that had to leave their career to raise some kids, and now they want to get back in the workforce. And unfortunately, a lot of companies look at that gap in their resume and don't understand what kind of talent they're getting. Well, they have an incredible home here with us, and we have amazing people that help them, that are part of our team.
Honestly, with however or whatever you guys are doing with your company, it's amazing. With this short span of a podcast, I honestly am really impressed with however you are taking your company forward and the kind of mission and the foundation you're building for the company. It's really amazing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So, and that's a wrap for today's episode of Workforce Waves. Huge thanks to our guest Steve for sharing his incredible insights on so many important topics. Now, before we go, Steve, where can people find you if they want to connect or learn more about your work?
Yeah, our website is www.thewell.solutions. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn. Steve Perry, The Well Recruiting Solutions. Easy to find on there.
Perfect. So make sure you follow Steve on LinkedIn and check out Well Recruiting Solutions website. To our listeners, if you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. And one more time, if you're stuck in the grind of manual processes or struggling to grow, we can help you optimize operations, bring in leads that convert, boost sales, and scale without the upfront risk. Head over to ambrosialautomations.com to get your free 12-month growth plan. All right, that's it for today. Thanks again, Steve. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And remember, growth isn't about doing more. It's about doing better. Let's make some waves together. See you next time.